Test, test. Test, 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 test. Test. Alright, so this is my personal favorite car in the game, is the Driftman. You know, that's just me, it's all personal preference really, but figured I would maybe make a video. Well, maybe help people who don't know how to tune. You know, I'm not like a professional driver, you know, I don't tune real cars or nothing, but I do, you know, I play this game quite a lot, and all I really do is drift. I don't do the single player stuff at all, really. As you can see, there's all the races pretty much are new. I did what I had to do to get the RX-7, but that's about it. You know, I drift all right. It's nothing spectacular, but you know, it's all right. I did that. That score was in this car, so. But my video here is gonna be basically just a base. So pretty much no matter what car you want, whisk it in the vicinity. What's important to remember though is that every car is different, and everybody is different. Everybody has, you know, like different styles and stuff. You know, different techniques, things like that. Everybody drifts a little different. There's no real wrong way to do it, I don't suppose. But you know, I'm gonna find a car here I haven't tuned, and you know, I'm gonna try and get it sideways. I'm gonna show you all how easy that is to do. So let's find something. There we go. Oh, Buick, that sounds fun. Sort of have a method, base settings for every car. It works probably at least 90% of the time. What's this about? Oh yeah. Sweet, sweet. Anyway. First thing you gotta know is, obviously it's gotta be rear wheel drive. And obviously you're gonna need to fully upgrade your drivetrain. And your brakes and all that. Put race springs and dampers on there. You know, upgrade your roll bars and such. Now, these are optional. Depends on how heavy the car is, you know. After a while, you'll get a feel for like how cars are gonna act, like how much they weigh. And you know, this car's already kind of heavy, so I'm not gonna add a roll bar on it, but I am gonna take off the weight reduction and get it under 3,000 pounds. That should help. You can engine swap if you want more power, or not. It doesn't matter how much power you have really, as long as your car's set up to compensate for it. You know, I don't want a V12. I'll go with a V8 because, you know, it's a muscle car. And when you're going through your turbos, you gotta look at your power curve here. It's the, it's the red and the blue lines. You see how the car's gonna react. You put a turbo on it. See that jump there? That means that it's gonna kick out really hard. But it also means that turbo has a tendency to lag a little bit. What I mean by that is there's a delay between hitting the gas and you actually getting that kind of power. That's sort of what that blue line's showing you there. Some of them are more. I like the positive displacement. It's got a nice smooth curve. Again, that's personal preference. Put arrows on it if you want. Adjustable, non-adjustable, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to put any on this car. Muscle car, I just feel, well, yeah, I'll put that on there. But, yeah. I'll go with the blower, because that looks dope. And tires, tire compound. Now, this has to do with how much power you want to put in it. I'm going to go sort of high power, so I'm going to try... not too high power. I'm going to go with street. But your tire width, okay, I'll go with 275. And then in the back, I usually put it all the way up or one below it, so you get more grip in the back, because it is a rear-wheel drive car. That's where a lot of your control is coming from. I'll explain that here in a minute. Just get some cool rims you like, whatever. I really kind of like the stock ones. But, nah, you know what? Yeah, rims don't really matter. You just keep in mind that it's weight. Some rims are lighter than others. It does make a difference, but it's not that important. As long as, like I said, you have enough power to compensate for how heavy the car is and how sticky the tires are. Screw it, I'm gonna leave them stock. Doesn't matter. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to, because I want to change the rim size. The rim size sort of matters. It depends on how you look at it. I guess it's debatable. It doesn't say anything about it in the game. But its weight and how thick your tires are has something to do with how much your tire pressure is going to affect your grip. If you've got low profile tires with soft grip, it doesn't matter, because they're still hard tires. I mean, you've got like an inch there to work with, as opposed to like big fat tires. This would be more compression, causing more grip. So, in a car like this, I'll generally put, or not, maybe not even a car like this. Sometimes it's you know, take a Japanese car or something you wouldn't expect, like my Skyline, and I'll tune it so like a muscle car. Again, this personal preference. I like the way muscle cars drive. But you know, low profile rims and all that, it's just as good. You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just stick with that. I'm tired of worrying about it. I'm not even gonna mess with it. Drivetrain, that's all. Now, power does matter. You can have low horsepower, like I could be fine just doing it with this. But it's different in a way. Mostly the biggest difference is your tires and your weight and stuff. You know, because if you got more power, you'll take off quicker. Yeah. But if you're heavier, you need more power to do that. I always put the flywheel on and raise the cooling and, you know, all that. But, you know, a lot of your power's coming from here. I'll go with 777 and I'll leave it at that. Oh, and in a lower horsepower car, it's a good idea to, you're going to want more acceleration in your gearing. But anyway, here with the tire pressure, see, I got, what do I get, sport tires, right? So they're a little grippier than stock. But what I generally do, rule of thumb here is, I'll start with this. This is just a basic base tune for just about any rear-wheel drive car. A lot of people say, oh, well, you need your tire pressure in the front to be a lot lower than the back. Well, that's not necessarily true. Because when you're sliding, if your front tires are too grippy, the car's just naturally going to want to pull in. And if they're not grippy enough, you're not going to have enough control. But it's really more about the ratio here. It's about a 5-point difference, 5.5-point difference. You know, you might want to change that depending on the car, depending on how it handles. I haven't driven this yet, so I don't know. But, and then, okay, your gearing. I don't generally mess with any of this. Some cars, you know, they might be a special case, but I'm going to start here about 330 to see what that does. You know, the alignment and the roll bars and the springs and the damping, that's all the most important shit right there. Well, okay, obviously you need your differential up and that, but your alignment, I always go with 100% negative camber, unless when I test it out after the fact, it wants to pull in too far. That might be a problem, but there's other ways around that. I'll put a little bit of camber in the back. Let's go with a 2. Generally, I'll go with 3. Do any more than that, and the car wants to spin out. And then the back, I'll usually keep it right around where the camber's at. Now, I can't be sure of this. From what I can tell, the closer to 0 this is, the harder it is to just initiate your drift. The further it is, the harder it'll whip out. So I'm going to start with 2. Just to see what happens. And then I always put this at 6.7. I can't tell you why. It just works for me. Always does. Never had a problem with it. The anti-roll bars. People will be like, you know, the people like the Beamers and stuff because they're really agile. Like they want to flip over real easy. But what they may not realize is that you can control that with this. Because it's a heavier car, I'm going to say it's not as agile, so I'm going to turn down the front roll bars a lot. And then the back ones are going to be stiffer. What that's going to do is you get a little less grip in the back, but the front's going to get more grip because the suspension's going to weigh down on it a little harder. And you get more control in the front. It'll cause the transitions to happen faster. The lower this goes here in the front. That's very useful to know because some cars transition too fast. If you swing over too hard, you're gonna spin out, or it's, you know, it's easy to spin out. Springs here, okay, because this is a muscle car, I'm gonna jack the back end all the way up and the front end all the way down. Some people want to just slam it all the way. That's fine. Just depends on the car. It's a muscle car, so this should be fine. Again, this is just a start. Springs, same thing with the roll bars. You want the front ones to be just a bit softer than the back. So we'll go with that. These I pretty much always put at 10 and 9.9. And this I'll put at 5 or 6, depending on the car. And then 4.9 or 5.9, depending on the car. Aero, you don't actually have to mess with it at all, because you're drifting pretty slow. Doesn't matter that much, but, you know, it helps, I guess. I'll put the back lower than the front. Just say that, towards speed. Braking force is far different for whatever reason than Forza 6. This actually is the biggest difference I've found in the game. But yeah, I just put it all the way to the front. And depending on how hard you want your brakes, you know, you can put them up, you can put them down. If the car's real fast, you might want them to be higher up or whatever. I'll go with 107 just for shits and giggles. And then, of course, your differential's all the way up. Like, no matter what. Now let's test it out. This may or may not work. I don't know, I haven't driven it yet. Thing I like to do is try to start from the dead stop for fourth gear. Alright, it works. It's not huge, but it works. It's not like crazy. So I just like being able to do that. Comfortability thing. Kind of how I judge my gears. Sometimes different cars are different, you know. If you got too much acceleration, it makes it squirrely and hard to drive. I guess I missed my turn. Alright, so the moment of truth. Alright, not bad. He's just a weensy bit more acceleration, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Just a little more. Like maybe, yeah, 342, something like that. Just to make it easier not to bog down.
You have a bucket list challenge to complete nearby. Would you like me to set a route there for you?
As you can see, this definitely gets sideways. It's nice and easy to control. Yeah. It's actually a really surprisingly nice car. We're gonna keep it how it is for now. Let's see. Fast travel to a drift zone. See, it's sort of my style to drift slower. Some cars, you know, they're fast. Like, the thing to remember is every car is different. Every car is going to feel different. You can put the same tune on the car. You can put a similar tune on the car. Like, this is a bass tune. You can do this with any rear-wheel drive car. You know, it's up to you on the, it's up to you how much power you want to give it, and what kind of tires and all that. That's just a comfortability thing. But the suspension and the gearing is the most important. And, you know, obviously the tire. The tire pressure. that easy to make a car